mean, for many of you, of course, know the story that Stephen was trying to make a movie about divorce when he did E.T., and he'd been working for years trying to tell a divorce story. And it wasn't until he had the idea of putting this alien story into a divorce story that he could tell a divorce story that really worked for him. And you know, for me, this movie, you know, part of it was I called Stephen immediately when I had this notion of doing a movie called Super 8. That in my mind was going to be much more of a Stand By Me kind of a movie, just a bunch of kids making movies, because I remembered it was one of my favorite things about life, was being a kid making movies with my friends. And I didn't know what was going to happen in that movie, but he immediately said, yes, I'm interested. And I think that was, by the way, breaching contract, because I didn't call the studio, I called Stephen, and you know, I didn't you know, get in trouble. And then we started working on what that movie would be, and it wasn't until a few months in that this notion of sort of cross-pollinating that idea with another idea that I'd had about this alien escaping from this train car came up, that it started to work for me. The truth is, I don't know if I ever actually completely merged the two ideas together. I think that they still oddly coexist as sort of separate ideas in a weird way. But I did feel like, in a strange way, making this movie about an alien, the convergence for me was that the alien was a metaphor for his loss of his mother, and that it wasn't until he faced this thing, that he actually confronted it. There's a line early in the film when he says, when they're watching the movie, and he says, my mom looked at me in a way, and I knew I existed. We actually use the, just for us, not that we thought anyone would get this, we actually use the eyes of the actress playing his mother in The Creature when it looks at him. And the idea is that when it looked at him again, he realized he could exist again. So for me, that was the sort of the place where those two ideas, you know, connected. But you know, clearly the idea of a story about loss and being a kid and first love and friendship and fatherhood and, you know, responsibility and family doesn't need an alien to be told. But it was a choice that I made, and you know, one that I'll just live to regret the rest of my life. No, but it was sort of a way to tell the story. I mean, clearly not remotely as you know, perfectly and profoundly as it was done before in E.T., but it was an incredible honor to make a movie that literally had an Amblin logo at the beginning. I mean, to make a movie, that was so cool. To be part of that library of movies in some form was sort of like a little bit like going back in time.
Well, this movie, to put